Welcome back to Reactions, Rants, and Rabbit Holes. Rollen Green, you are you. And unfortunately, this is what we got to do. I just got done doing Fire in the Booth. That is the second time I've seen it. I got to check. I don't know if it's over on Rumble, but it's 20 minutes. And I think what happens is it gets blocked due to the hosting, the show, the whoever show, the Fire in the Booth show. Now I got to look and see what I got to do with it. If I'm wrong, it just went up, or it's a link here in this one. I'm going to give this one a shot. 90% of the substance in Fire in the Booth, I 100% agree with. I think the prison, criminal reform might not have stood the test of time. And I'm an ex-con, so it gets to be a complicated discussion because it just seems like every answer is always all or nothing, and it's got to be more complicated. And I don't mean psychologists, like someone just said. I just think it's all complicated. So my point is, about 90% of that Fire in the Booth I thought was straight dope truth from my perspective as well as his. I'm like, I couldn't argue with any of it. Some of it, I think, is a complicated discussion. Fair enough? Akala? Is that right? I hope so. The Thieves Banquet. Now with the lyrics, I'm actually Actually, I followed Fire in the Booth. You could understand everything he said. The guy's got mad skills. Mad skills. I'm no expert, so I don't know nothing about nothing. All opinions are for entertainment purposes only. I don't claim to know anything. I just enjoy shit out of my comfort zone now and then if it's hip-hop and rap. I'm open to that. Weird. Who knew?
Once upon a time,
you guys,
in an obscure part of the Milky Way galaxy, there was a spinning ball of water and rock, ruled by the forces of evil.
Oh, it's us.
The devil himself, proud of the magnificent achievements of his children, decided to call a special banquet for the greatest thieves in all the land. He sent invites to thousands of the greatest murderers, rapists, and general assorted scum.
All might be hard and complicated because I actually like the language, the thieves. So I believe everything is theft, according to the way I've been, my teacher, the things I believe. Every crime comes down to theft. Down to the most extreme example, murder is the theft of someone else's life. But you can break it all down to theft. So, I like that language. Right off the get-go.
It's murderers, rapists, and general assorted scum, inviting them to attend his palace at the dawn of the new moon. Each thief would be given a chance to stake his claim as the greatest messenger of murder upon the planet, and the devil himself would then decide who should be crowned king.
That's funny. Ange and I were just reading. I was showing her some tinfoil hat stuff. And now we just take it with a grain of salt. But I was reading it, and it was about the Grand Grimoire held by the Vatican in the archives. And it explained this, that, and the other book written by the devil himself or blah, blah, blah. And she's like, come on! What a load of crap. And I'm like, yeah, no, maybe. But then I mentioned Crowley taking like the Gardnerian, Alexandrian traditional grimoires and turning them into the Golden Dawn or something like that. That's a pretty loose interpretation. And then I said, wait, didn't we just watch a director? I don't want to mention his name because this is where it's hypocritical. Movies suck, music sucks. Yeah, so I watched Polanski's Ninth Gate last week. Well, that's about a book. Blah, 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 blah. I just thought it was so funny because then when I reminded Ange of watching the movie, I said, well, Now, they could both be fake, and it all could be just some weird tinfoil hat stuff. But I said, you don't find it a little ironic? And I just think it's. Let's just say, I think both men and women, or humans, or whatever your fucking now title is supposed to be, have channeled both good and evil for self-benefit and others. And it breaks down to that simple, that darkness does dwell in the same world that light does. And they coexist. And wickedness abounds.
After many days of deliberating, all of the petty thieves, such as street criminals, have been found far short of the required level of wickedness, and there were just 4 sets of thieves left in the competition. They were the monarchs of empire, a cartel of bankers, the heads of religious orders, and the third world.
Now, this is a narrative that the guy who marched on Occupy Wall Street and signed a lot of documents against Citizens United gets behind. I'm just being clear. That's I don't know. Luke Rudowski's close to someone that I would align with almost perfectly. I don't know anything about behind the scenes, but yeah. This list. So I just cut to the chase, and I consider this group to be the personification of evil or devils on the planet. Instead of some imaginary, for other people, horned pitchforked deity. No, I just figure they channel the darkest of all the darkest things, and then I search out all the weird stories that tell me that's true. Lots of good people in that world too, don't get me wrong, I'm not stupid. Or there's lots of servants and familiars in that world.
Dictators. Each set of thieves appointed a spokesman to give his case to the devil. We have recorded these events for posterity.
Wow.
Listen. Okay. Yo. First up was the thief with the worst reputation, dictator of the third world nation. He looked the devil in the eyes, he spoke in an oh so serious tone. Dear Mr. Devil, I am the greatest thief that ever has been on earth. Please tell me who else, more than me, personifies your work. I came to power in a military coup. I murdered the elected president. He wanted to use the resources of our country for...
And I will, before we get there and I trigger myself, I'll give up that then the Western world also held a hand or strings playing in these kind of things in the third world or the underdeveloped world. And then I think when you learn about what first world, second and third world nations, you realize that there's a lot to be said about the secret strings that, pay for these coups and influence them. And let's just say, I think this is deeper than just there. But this is awesome.
Our people's benefit. I proved the masters in the West. I could kill my own people as well as the best. So I took over the so-called independent country when the foreigners left. Sent squads of death for those who would suggest in power should be the ones they elect. Erected a statue of the great man who raped our mothers, stole our lands. That's how little self-respect I have. Don't fight slavery, it makes me glad. Account in Switzerland, Rolls Royce, murder or rape cause I want new toys. Don't want a portion, a whole fortune. With that profit was a little bit of torture. Even outlawed my indigenous culture and language and history, and taught our people to only worship colonizers, and of course, me.
So I think it's power. And the easiest way to see it is the sins of the father instead of power corrupts, the ultimate power corrupts all, whatever the fuck that is. I think that's one of the tipping points. But as I've harped a lot, I'm positive there's a revenge narrative to some left-leaning idealism.
It's the banquet of the thieves. Come and dine with me.
Oh my!
It's the banquet of
I read ahead. Oh God.
The devil was so impressed with this wonderful man, you almost ejaculated on his hands, but the monarch of the empire said, "Excuse me, Mr. Devil, I'd like to speak if I may. Who do you think trained this amateur dictator to behave this way? Yeah, I'm sure before I came along, his country was far from heaven, but look at the carnage I've caused all over the earth. It's got to be the work of the devil."
We'll ride this out now. I've also, I stopped a lot and I've run my mouth, and it's probably would be reiterating. And obviously, in my personal opinion, we'll move this all the way up to the highest power structure until you get to the secrets of the secrets that you'll never know, right? The ultimate tip top of the pyramid is not, we don't know their names. You don't know who they are. They're not in the newspaper. They're not in the news. There's no stories. There's no movies. If at most there are secret archetypes that are hinted about in movies or books, we don't know who the real powerful people are. It's weird. Yeah, it's going to end up being the bankers or God, whoever wielded. I'm guessing the religious leaders turn out to be the most corrupt. So I'm going to sit back, enjoy.
Countless deaths, mass enslavement, deliberate starvation of whole nations. The dictator tries his best, but looking at me, he's just an imitation. Who do you think pays his wages? He would love to be trading places. I've been doing this thing on the roads way back since the middle of ages. Everybody knows he's a criminal element. They think I'm democratic and benevolent, and that shows that I'm really devilish. Cause people think I'm heaven sent. I couldn't care about democracy. You all know no one elected me. The people love me despite my crimes. Sucker MCs wanna bite my shine. So bling and out of control, you would vomit. Don't even touch dough, but my face is on it.
See?
It's the banquet of the thieves.
2 more to go.
The banquet of the thieves.
Right?
I'm a pervert, using the cloak of the clergy, yes, I'm a pervert, using the cloak. I'm a despicable character. I use my position of authority and spiritual reverence. I'm a despicable character. Mr. Devil, allow me to speak. All the religious leaders that leech in the world of creeps. I'm initiated, take people's faith and I dissipate it with false promises. Hollow oratory, don't need a gun, it's daylight robbery. Dear Mr. Devil, I thought you would like it. I use the faith in God to keep them blinded. On a nice voice, read them a book, and they believe that I'm not a crook. Tell them God will repay them in the neck. They give me their life savings so I can buy jets. All the reports about child sex, none of us have ever gone jail yet. A system of stealing, so appealing, convinces the victims that life has meaning. Monarchs boast about conquest, but needed my blessings to get it done. And all of the dictators use my books, therefore they are just my sons. The devil was sure this was the winner and was just about to put an end to the dinner. But then the man from the banking cartel stepped up and said, I think I'm the biggest sinner. All of those 3 depend on me. All they ever do is defending me. Cause I paid for all of the things they have, of course, and the lives that they lead. Paid for the guns, bombs and the tanks. That's why you see there is always more. I turn science, basic appliance into a client of weapon of war. Paid for monarchies, armed robberies. I make monopolies out of property. Never shot a gun nor kill anyone myself, but billions die because of me. Who needs a threat? I make a debt out of thin air. Just sit back and collect.
Someone was just talking about this on a show. I think it was Tim Pool, about money transfer that went bad and just disappeared. And it was weird because it was like I'm screaming at the screen. Well, not literally, okay? Not literally, but I'm like, fractional reserve banking. I'm like, dude, this was the opportunity to go off and explain that, right? Instead of having to, look up fractional reserve banking and learn everything about it. There, fuck that. Don't take everybody else's opinion. Learn as much as you can about how fractional reserve banking works, and then ask yourself if you're cool with all that. Did you agree to it? Y'all can make it go away by disagreeing to it, but we comply our way into everything.
Billions die because of me. Who needs a threat? I make a debt out of thin air. Just sit back and collect every single day. Whatever they say, the people need me just to connect. Yet none of them knows what I look like. Yet all of them spend my money to look nice. They want more. No one's pure. I hold the keys to every single door. Sell sex and drugs, profit and lies. Earth and skies. I even sell life. I even sell freedom for the right price. They're not smart enough to ask me nice. So Mr. Devil, give me the medal. Don't be biased. If you don't give it to me, I'll just buy it.
It's the banquet of the thieves.
song is fire.
of the thieves.
Fire.
The banquet of the thieves.
I'm going with the moral of this story is the IMF is the devil. And that's not the Impossible Mission Force. That would be the International Monetary Fund. Did I lie? That's always been controlled by the powers that be, so we got that. And now you can witness.
Brown, throw that soul right there.
A hint of something yet to come or next on the record, I don't know. Akala? Now, forgive me on that because I think the substance of that song is way more important than my inability to get a couple names right. So please forgive. Or don't. Yeah, I sleep well either way. That was incredibly good. Incredibly good. I'm going to try getting these up. Being these were both 12. Now we're going to keep going. All right, I'm going to see what I can get posted, and we'll go from there. The Thieves Banquet. Heavy truth there, in my opinion.